Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be covering this very interesting platform called tradingview.com. It is personally my best favorite platform to understand any market trend, any particular, a stock chart, behavior, and look at past performance, and also see how is the overall stock is performing. So if you are a beginner, I would recommend you go to this website called tradingview.com. It covers not just crypto market, but actually it covers forex market. It also covers stock market and other bond market indices, ETFs, which is exchange traded funds, and all sorts of things. So this is like a beginner level review of this particular uh, website. I'll have to do an in-depth review at another time. But let's say today is 17th of July, and it's about 7:30 p.m. Australia time, and I wanted to understand what is happening in the market. Yeah. So all you have to do is, let's say I'm interested in the crypto market. So I come to markets and just choose cryptocurrencies market, and I'm more interested in the market capitalization, which is basically the overall investment position in the market. So if you click on uh, market cap chart, basically it is giving you a total position in the market. So as of today, the current crypto market is about $1.27 trillion. Yeah. So if you look at the trend since I would say 19th, around that point in time, where we had like a massive drop from like close to 2 trillion. We went down right to, on 19th of May was when we had a massive drop in the prices. I started my trading journey around 12th of May, and back then, Bitcoin was at its highest. It was trading around, I think, 60,000 Australian dollars, roughly 50,000 US. And I was always wondering, the exponential growth and the money flowing into the crypto market. So at that point, I basically decided to make an entry into the market, which was obviously, uh, it was not a really right point on the 12th of May, but I didn't make a lot of trades on the 12th of May. But as soon as the date hit on the 19th of May, that was like a sales day for me. Like all the stocks that I had bought earlier on, I went on and I bought a few more. And what we do is when you buy lower, basically you do your dollar cost averaging. It's also called DCA. The concept is that you basically average out your buying cost. So you buy in parts, you don't spend all of your money at one point. So you track the market and you sort of dollar cost average, your stock price. And similarly, you sell in parts. You buy in parts and you sell in parts. So you take profit uh, at a certain point. You define your target. So basically, that comes down to how you want to trade and what's your trading strategy. So obviously, there is a greed and fear. So you have to play between that. Don't be over greedy and don't be over fearful. So it shouldn't be any panic selling or panic buying. Now, coming back to today's, as you can see, from that point on, we are pretty much, market has definitely lost the momentum. It came down, it went up again to around 1.7 trillion, then up and down, and since then it's sort of downwards and sideways. That's what we call like sideways trend. Today, we also saw from last couple of days, the market did went down. From around 1.4 milli trillion down to 1.2 trillion. So if you look at the overall volume as well, you can see the volume dropped. These are like the volume that is coming into the market in terms of the transaction volume. So obviously, when you had a drop in the market price, a lot of people pumped the market to take it back up. So when the market actually drops, there are sellers and then there are equally buyers at the same point. So so you always have that. Once the selling pressure comes, at some point in time, the market pushes back itself, and that's where you understand the concept of support and resistance. So these two terminologies are widely used, in the technical analysis of the charts. When you look at a chart, you want to understand what is the support level, what is the resistance. So resistance level is the point from where the market, where from where the market sort of pushes down. So you hit a peak, so and then your market sort of goes down because that's like a ceiling. Yeah, that's your resistance point, and your support is like your floor. Every time the stock hits that price, it bounces back. So do you have a strong support? For example, current crypto market has a strong support at around 1.26 trillion. That's like the line. If I was to draw a line here, and you can see that in the past few weeks we've had seen resistance at this level. So as soon as we hit around 1.6 to 1.7, we have a strong resistance at 1.7, a medium resistance at 1.6 trillion. So I will explain that in probably another video, but this is just a view for understanding how the market is behaving. So obviously, for the future of crypto, it's really important that the market bounces back, and for that we really need like institutional investment coming into the market. So not just the retail investors like you and me and normal buyers, but we need the big companies, big banks, and big funds basically, putting the money into the market. And that's where I'm quite hopeful that market will bounce, significantly as the investor confidence grow, as the networks improve, and as the whole crypto awareness increases. Uh, in terms of the total market dominance, I think this is another way to look at what is the dominant cryptocurrency at the moment. So Bitcoin obviously is the king of the crypto. It's like a gold standard. It's just like they call it digital gold because all the currencies are rated against Bitcoin value in terms of their trading. So, for example, Bitcoin dominance, you can see over the past, I mean, Bitcoin had enjoyed a lot of dominance in the past, but slowly and slowly, as we have the investment coming into other coins, which we also call them altcoins, alternative or altcoins. So, altcoins have slowly picking up the market, and the top ones you can see Ethereum, which is the amber or orange line. As you can see, the Bitcoin was going down, Bitcoin dominance was going down, the market share was going down. So people were pumping more money in Ethereum. So it's like you had Bitcoin, but you thought, oh, Ethereum is doing something really wonderful with smart contracts and with Ethereum planning to have a future upgrades with Ethereum 2.0, which would result in a lot faster Ethereum network and with a lot lower fees and all the good work that Ethereum has brought into crypto market around smart contracts and this DeFi, decentralized finance. This is all benefits of Ethereum. And then obviously you can see Ethereum sort of went up and now it's sort of more towards sideways. But still, Bitcoin dominance is around 46%. If we want the market to pump, we obviously want Bitcoin to go up. We want Bitcoin to stay strong because obviously if Bitcoin goes down, everything is relevant to Bitcoin. Everything goes down as well in price. So it's like it's like they are very much connected. It's not very much like it's not sort of Bitcoin is trading separately. So it's not like Bitcoin can go down and still Ethereum would be pumping massively. It won't happen like that because, as I said, Bitcoin is the king. So if 50% of the market is going down, it will impact on the other smaller projects. So uh, Ethereum, Ripple, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin is also one of the oldest blockchain technology. Tether is basically a stable coin, USD Tether. It's got 4.8%. Binance Coin, which is the fundamental coin that powers the Binance network or Binance exchange. You got Cardano, and Monero and Tron, and the list goes on. But obviously, Ethereum and Bitcoin are the sort of the main sort of players in the market at the moment. So this is just a quick overview on understanding the market cap and understanding the Bitcoin dominance and how it impacts the overall. Now, if you want to, let's say, go to understand a particular chart, so let's say I'm new in the Bitcoin or new in the crypto market, and I want to understand a trading pair or a basic chart for Bitcoin. So I can come to cryptocurrencies and I can just maybe do Bitcoin, and it's here, so I can just click on that. It will show up a chart here, which is obviously it has got a lot of data. You can say 5 years. or all of the data. So that would take you really back to all the way. And you can see the 2021 start was, really when the Bitcoin started pumping massively, with the whole Tesla coming into play, where Tesla announced that they were gonna, accept Bitcoin as a currency. But soon after, it created, the Elon Musk's comments around, renewable energy and all that sort of impacted the market and created a fear and all that. So anyway, market historically, you can say currently it's been around this 30 to 40 range for a long time now. But this chart doesn't gives you a lot of that. We'll go into another chart. So if you look at this dial as well, this shows what is the current sort of trend. So there is a selling trend at the moment. This is like a dial indicator. And then there's strong sell, neutral buy, strong buy. So if the needle goes to neutral, this means it's trending sideways. If it's sell, that means majority of the people are selling, or there's more selling pressure. There's more, we also call it, there's more bears active than bulls. Bears are like people or sellers who drive the price down, and bull market or bulls are basically people who try and bring the price up. So if it's strong selling, we generally say that market is bearish and more bears are active, and market is obviously on a selling pressure. So obviously, if it's towards strong sell, that would be probably a good time for you to make an entry. But still, you have to look at some other areas, because this is just the moment in time. It doesn't gives you the past performance, or it doesn't tells you what is the support and what is the resistance. So this is just an indication of what is happening right now, not necessarily that. So basically, you can either search BTC and USDT here. Basically, USD, it's a pair, BTC USD tether, uh, or you can just click on see full featured chart here. So if you click on that, it opens up another window. Basically, I'm just going to reset the chart. This is like my chart window with a very. I'll just close this one for now, and maybe let's go full screen. Yeah, so this is my trading pattern for Bitcoin over the last sort of a few days or few weeks. So let me see. I'm currently in the 4-hour time zone. So that means every candle stick is a representation of 4 hours in time. If I choose it to one day, it becomes a one day or daily chart basically. So one day, for example, on this day, there was more sort of buying happening, and this was the range. So if you want to understand Bitcoin phenomena or what is happening in Bitcoin space since May, for example, since 19th of May, when we had a serious market drop, as I showed you, Bitcoin has been trending in the sideways zone. Basically, it's been going up to 42 grand and then sort of coming back around that space. So you can see it's a lot of sideways trend within 30 to 40K range. So if you were to make an entry, you can see that Bitcoin resistance is at Bitcoin support is currently at this level. So every time market hits 31,300 level, it bounces up. I hope that's clear. So that's what I'm trying to say. Every time market hits this point, you can see one time, two, three. Anytime it comes, it goes up, comes down, then goes up again. And this become even more clear maybe if you look at a 4-hourly or a shorter window, maybe 2 hours chart. I think 4 hours is a better representation. So if you look at that, you can see that and anytime the market hits this zone, this area of 30 to 1, so 30, this one 31,500 in that zone. This is where Bitcoin is sort of having there's a lot of buyers sitting at this point here. So I personally myself as well, as soon as Bitcoin would go to 31 or 30, I would like to buy it, maybe for $100. I don't have to buy it all the way. So if Bitcoin falls below 30K, then we can see Bitcoin testing the next support level. Sorry. Because it's the free version, you're only allowed to add, you might have a few ads pop up, so just cancel them out. So if it falls at below, if it breaks this support, if it breaks this and there are more bears active, and if it goes down, you can see that the next level could be around 28 to 29 window. You know, it is around this level historically. So there, so the current price that we saw, Bitcoin went as low as 28,720, and then it pushed back strongly, you know, within the same sort of point. So if it breaks this point 30,000, we can see 28 is the next level. And obviously there's a lot of buyers between these two levels. So far you can see that Bitcoin has tested its 30K support many times, but have not been able to break it. So this is how you understand basically whether or not you should, you know, at what point you should make an entry. You need to understand what is the support and what is the resistance. So if you are to make an entry, I would make an entry when the stock hits its support level, you know, and you would try to sell it when it's hitting its upwards of the resistance level. So you could make it an entry at, let's say, 30,000 and sell it for 32. You know, make an entry at 30,000, sell it for 32, something like that. But at this point, we definitely would say that, you know, the phenomena that it's going to either push upwards, you know, an upward trajectory, or could be downwards. That depends on how the institutional interest and how the market behaves, you know, in the next few weeks. But the news are that August is gonna market is gonna be bull, so it's gonna be bulls are gonna be active, and you might see Bitcoin hitting again those 40K levels, and you know, and then from there on. So it's gonna be a slow trend upwards, but you definitely don't want to miss out any of those, you know, bottom peaks where, you know, for example, Bitcoin was 28,000 back in January. So if you were to make it an entry at 28, you know, it's a good entry point, honestly. Um, in terms of the indicators, I would do a separate video where I would explain some of the key indicators. For example, relative strength index. This is a good indication of you know, how market is behaving. So, for example, currently the RSI is 43. At this point, it's around 40, 43 middle point. You know, it's the range is. If you see the chart, it's the lowest is 20. I mean, you can define the settings as well. You can define the settings for the chart, not this one, but yeah, I'll do a separate video where I'll show you how to define the scales. But if the RSI is, you know, 20 or is close to 20, that's like there's the cryptocurrency, or there's more, it's been oversold. Yeah, if it goes to 20 or less, that means the stock is oversold. If it goes above, let's say, 60 or 70, that's mean it's been overbought. And you can see that, you know, when if you look at this level on 14th of June where RSI was, you know, what, 70 odd, you could see that the Bitcoin value was 41,000. So RSI and stock price are very much relevant. So as once the RSI is 20 or 30 zone, you would see this would be downwards trend. You can also draw some lines just to sort of for your reference point. You can draw this line up to here just to mark out the, you know, and you can draw maybe another line to say, yeah, okay, so this is one level that I'm. So this is like your drawing tool basically. You can draw the trend lines just to understand the graph a little bit better. If you know, you can see how much was the movement and from here to here, for example. So I'll explain all this in another video. Today was a bit of an overview. The other way for you to understand how to make an entry is to, you know, if you go back to, let me close this one. And if you go to, you know, this market, let's say I'm going to stock market and I'm not into crypto, but because this works for anything. So stock market, and I can, let's say, I just click on stocks and then I will choose, because I'm in Australia, so I'm interested in Australian stock market. And basically it's giving me an overview, but what I'm interested in is the which ones are the oversold. Yeah, so which ones are oversold means they are already at the lowest price. Not necessarily, but this means that there's been a lot of selling pressure. And if there's a strong selling pressure, means the price is lower, means there's a potential for you to make an entry, but you have to study the company and you have to understand the company fundamentals and whether this company has a potential to bounce back. You don't want to just say anything is strong, sell, okay, I'm going to make an entry. This is just one way of looking at it. Also, you can look at highs and lows. For example, 52-week low, which stocks are currently at 52-week low? Is there any big company that I'm sort of interested in with a, with a bigger market cap? You don't want to invest in very small businesses. You want to look for businesses that have got, bigger capital, bigger plans. So you can look at 52-week low. These stocks are currently at their 52-week lowest value. Now, obviously, there may be a potential that stock will bounce back uh, because of the return of investor confidence, or again the resistance and support concept. The, and you can also look at, for example, if there is any sort of key market movers, where people are buying. So you can see a lot of people are buying into Rio Tinto, Commonwealth Bank, BHP. But the way I normally, for Australian stocks, I will do a separate video using the ComSec platform, Commonwealth Security account. So in there, you can basically, it provides you some recommendation from based on the company's financial data, the future outlook, whether a company is going through a merger, whether a company has won a major contract and stuff like that. So for example, I had some Telstra stocks and I bought them back on about $3.4. And the reason I think I just wanted to make an entry. And at that point, Telstra was sort of trading quite low. And since then, Telstra has improved. And also, Telstra announced its tower business. So they've sort of sold 50% of their tower business, which sort of helped them to gain some revenue. There are other stocks as well. For example, if you were to look at, you have to study and understand the company dynamics a little bit on what is happening. For example, TPG, I bought it for like 5 point something dollars. Now it's going upwards. And I'll do a separate video on how to do. For Qantas, you can see currently now in Australia is going through a lockdown. So obviously I'm going to see Qantas stock will drop further from this level. And but in future, you should be quite positive that from 6 months to 12 months, it's going to improve in value, because the travels will come back to normal. Things will start to improve. And this stock, for example, for Qantas or Webjet, and these kind of companies that are related to airline business should improve. Um, and what else? So I think also in terms of the this trading view platform, as I said, you can look at what are the top gainers, top losers, and then you have to do a bit more analysis. As I said, you have to look at the you have to look at the actual chart to see uh, whether this stock is currently at its peak, or is it at the support level, is it at the resistance, or is it trending upwards, downwards, what is happening? And then you have to decide. For example, if we look at this BHP group, and we look at, let's say, a daily chart, you can see the RSI is already quite high. I wouldn't be buying, I wouldn't be making an entry. I would be probably making an entry when the RSI is somewhere down there, around this level, 34 or even lower. And also, if you look at the stock, it's currently at its peak. So you should probably look at maybe going backwards in time a little bit and see what are the support levels. So you can see every time stock hits this number, it pops back up. So it's tested this twice, this zone. And yeah, I think it's pretty much in the upward direction. So BHP, I think at the moment is, maybe if you are looking for a long term, maybe it is something that you can. But the stocks currently is not suggesting that it's a good time to make an entry. So you really have to understand, that the best way. In terms of, as I said, I've covered the other one. Coingecko is a good website where you can just come and see the price. Any stock, for example, which is for the last 24 hours or last 7 days, let's say it's working negative. Now Thorchain down by 31%. Now this is, if you had some holdings of Thorchain before, you could dollar cost average by buying some of this. I had some Thorchain before with me, which I had bought at like 8 price or 7 or 6. Today I bought it for $4 just to average out some of my cost. This platform, actually Thorchain, I think they had some attack today on one of their exchange, and that's why you can see the price came down. That impacted Obviously, I don't use the Thorchain DeFi network, but if you have to understand the news a little bit, why Thorchain is going down. So news play a lot of role in. So they have this Thorchain.org. I think their website had some attack, and it I think it impacted. I don't know what's the exact value. I did read it on the Twitter. Um, let's look at the blockchain protocol. Thorchain loses 4K ether in attack. Yeah, so since that news came out, the price of this stock was you could see the price going down from $6. So as I said, I personally don't like the chart options in this one. I rather use TradingView to do my chart analysis. But the key thing is that the price does gets impacted by the market news. You can see it was like last 7-day high was when it was around trading around this value. Now it's down to $4. So I think this is just a quick view, guys. So this is the sites that I use. As I said, I use TradingView, and I use Coingecko quite often, and to sort of make and understand what is happening in the. You can also use, for example, if you have an exchange account. I had a previous video on this Binance Smart Exchange. In exchange as well, you can see the similar charts, and you can do a bit of your drawings and understand the chart. It's up to you which platform you prefer to use. So either you can do your stuff here and then place the orders, or you can do your analysis in the trading view. So I hope you guys sort of got some ideas today. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and comment on the video, and do let me know what else you would like me to cover, and if there's anything that you would like me to explain. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for your time today.